Okay. Welcome to this Board of Park Commissioners meeting for Tuesday, April 4th, 2017. Please call the roll.
Mr. Cappers?
Here.
Mr. Pierce?
How about Mrs. Pierce?
Mrs. Pierce? Here. Mr. Fox?
Here.
Okay, we have our minutes from our past meeting in February. Happened to be a joint meeting also. Are there any additions, corrections, or deletions to those minutes?
No.
Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve those minutes.
Motion approved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, they stand accepted. Reports. Mr. Drake, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon.
Do you have anything to add in addition to your report?
Just want to add that the Archer Park restroom's coming along very nicely. The walls are all up. The roof trusses have been set. So within the next week, I anticipate the roof will be completely on and done. And inside plumbing will begin anytime, and doors will be going on. So
There's going to be some excited spring soccer people about
very
that.
much soccer and baseball for that matter.
Baseball,
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
Any questions for our park superintendent?
No.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mr. Seiler, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Do you have anything to add to your report?
I do not.
Well, okay. Any questions for Mr. Seiler? Okay, good. Mr. Green, how are you today, sir?
Real good. How you doing?
Dave, do you have anything to add to your report?
No, nothing to the report.
But let's talk about the weather and money coming in and all that sort of stuff.
Well, unfortunately, we had a good start in February, as you know, but March left quite a bit to be desired with the weather. And so far this month hasn't been a whole lot better, but we really only had 4 decent days the whole month of March
Is that right?
compared with 12 last year. So everything we gained in February, we lost back in March.
Okay.
And this month is starting off the greatest, but hopefully we get by this week and get some better weather.
Okay.
Everything's ready to burst loose, we can just get the weather going.
Sure. All right. Any questions for Mr. Green?
No.
Okay, thank you. I don't have any report from the Planning Commission. New business, we do have a request from the Troy Senior Citizen Center that was directed to the Park Board, trying to secure their permission that we grant them every year for the use of their parking lot, closing that off for the Strawberry Festival on June 3rd and 4th. Does anybody have a problem with that? Can I hear a motion, one way or the other?
I'll move that we grant them permission once again.
Okay.
And that's
for
second.
exclusive use of parking lot.
Okay, there's a motion and a second to approve the request. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Would you respond saying that that is okay, please? We are accepting a check from a trust that we benefit from, about $1,400 a year. We have that check. Why we need a motion to accept it, I'm not quite sure, but we always do it, so may I have a motion to accept the money? And if you don't want to move that, you're stupid. So
I'll make the motion to accept the check for the senior citizens.
this would be from the Mayor Successor Trust.
Yes.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Now, Jeremy, just for our edification, that money goes into the park equipment fund, is that right? The Mayor Trust?
That's what I was going to ask, actually. I'm not sure. Maybe Mrs. Knight. might
Mrs.
be able
Knight?
to.
Could you respond, please? The mayor check, where does that, what fund does that go into?
I thought it went into the general fund, but I'm not sure. Because
The general fund?
it's not the same as the Spencer Trust.
No.
This is different. But we will double check and let you know by email.
And if it's the general fund, why are we even dealing with it?
I think you've done it out of habit for these many years.
Oh, that, yeah, for local, yeah, I'd like that. Yeah, if you could just check and just report back to us, I'd appreciate it. While you're standing,
Yes, sir.
do you have any report on the sale of real property?
The date is advertised, it's not open yet.
Okay, thank you. What is that date, do you know?
No, sir. I come with no information, I'm sorry.
I love it when you say sir. That's great. Okay, thank you. We don't have a matter on our discussion check sheet, but we do have matters to take care of as the Golf Advisory Board. Ken, do you want to go ahead and give us an update on what you've got as far as openings and things like that out there?
Yes, you should have received 2 letters that I attached to my report. We had 2 applications for the opening, which, as you know, we have 1 opening to replace Mr. Knife, who is medically, physically unable to proceed any longer. Rick Zabo, who's been out to the golf course. I've known him since I've been here, and he's been playing since the mid-'80s. Submitted an application, and as you can see, he's been there, he's quite a bit of experience at the golf course, playing on a lot of events and stuff. And the other person that I met at our open house here recently, Cindy Schaefer. I got to know her by talking to her at the open house. First of all, I had met her. We had quite a long conversation at the open house meeting, and she has presented a application too for admittance to the Golf Advisory Board, and those are the two that we have. I don't know, do you want a recommendation from me at this time, or do you want to have more discussion
Well,
about it?
I don't know, do you guys want to interview these people or take Ken's recommendation for a board member?
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't feel comfortable just looking at these two without knowing them and choosing, make a
Right.
recommendation for one of them without either your recommendation or them being here.
Because if you want to interview them, it's going to be after hours probably in the evening.
Yeah, I don't feel a need to interview them if Ken has a good recommendation.
Okay. Tell me about, I know Rick Zabo. He was on the hockey team here, I think.
Yeah, he owned one of the professional hockey teams here
Yeah.
up until a few years ago
Right.
and played. And he's been a golfer all those years too. That's how I know him, obviously, through golfing, because he's obviously a pretty good player, good hockey player, but a good golfer too. He's always been very involved. As you can see, he's been on our Miami Shores Echo Hills Challenge Cup member for the last several years that we've been playing, and of course he's always participated in our events out there.
He's citing some past experience in the golf industry. What does he mean by that, do you know?
Well, I think just that he's been involved in tournament play for a long time.
Okay.
I don't know if he's worked in the industry or not. If he has, I don't have that knowledge.
And it says he's a course member.
Right. And
Now, Mrs. Schaefer she says she's a daily golfer. Do you know where she golfs?
I do not. I just met her at the, like I said, at the open house. I know she says she's played for a long time. I don't know her from out there. I don't know how long it's been since you played Echo or Miami Shores.
Just last fall.
Last fall, okay. But I didn't know her from that. I knew her from the open house.
Gotcha.
Okay.
On my resume, my father was the first golf pro at the Shores.
At the Shores?
Uh-huh.
How long ago was that?
1949 when it opened up.
And who was after him? Do you remember?
Mr. Rutherford.
That's the one I remember. Rutherford? Yeah, or the Rutherford Drive.
Yeah.
Then my father had the driving range, we went to Walnut Grove, and then we went down to Snow Hill Country Club. I lived on all three of those. And then he came home and he opened up the driving range in 1953. I worked with him, oh my gosh, into my 20s. And he retired from that.
And what's your handicap?
Oh, I can't tell you. It varies. I decided to, I've been wanting to do something fun, and I think this would be a really fun, I see that as being a fun situation, and golfers are great, and it gives me an opportunity to give back to the community for the experience that I have learned.
Also says you're on several other nonprofit boards. Do you mind listing who those are?
Well, I was,
She can't be heard.
Come on up here. I'm sorry. If you come up to the podium, we're having an interview now, I guess.
Yeah, great.
Yes, I was involved in Basin with Phi, and I was involved in St. Vincent in Dayton, Ohio, involved in a lot of nonprofits at the base, tournaments and so forth, raised a lot of money for St. Vincent. And I've golfed all my life. I was born into it. I didn't have a choice, actually. And I've just been golfing, and I don't know what else to say.
What do you think needs to be changed out at the golf course?
Well, I'd like to see, I just went to the Polish fish fry, and a lot of those people come up to Miami Shores all the time. And they were commenting on how the first two holes are pretty lame. I'm not being negative.
Sure.
Not having enough challenge coming out. I mean, they love everything about it, and I was telling them how they were remodeling and everything. I'd like to see that we get our youth going. We don't have enough youth playing. There's a lot of kids that don't have a sports in the summer because they can't afford it or they can't go, and I'd like to see something in that order. The driving range, I think that'll go good. I think that'll help spur the golf up. I looked at the plans for the remodeling of the club. Looks pretty good. I'm not sure if I want to get rid of that south side there, because I went out and checked that out, the balcony there. I mentioned to Mr. Green about how many bikes they had, and I would put a strip on the bike path to find out what the stats are of the bikes coming in there. I live by the river on this side, and I noticed that there's not a lot of bikes coming past Miami Shore, so there must be a lot going in there for their pit stop and turning around. And I'd like to see more merchandise with our names on it, with Miami Shores on it, those kind of things.
Okay. Any questions of this applicant? Sandy, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. I guess it's back to you then, Ken. If you've heard Cindy Schaefer and you know Rick Zabo, do you have some sort of preference or some sort of indication to us as to who you would like to have us appoint?
Well, as I told you, I've known Rick for quite a while. I just met Ms. Schaefer at our open house and talked with her for quite a while. And, based on that, my knowledge of both of them would be more from Mr. Zabo, since I've known him for so much longer. I know he's very involved in golf out there. It sounds like she's ready to get involved too, but based on my knowledge of Rick, I would probably have to recommend him.
Cindy, one other question. Are you a course member out at the golf?
No, I'm not.
Okay, thank you.
I don't play as much as I used to because I have post polio. So there are days that I can play and there's some days that I don't, but I've been involved in different clubs.
Gotcha. Thank you. Okay. What do you guys want to do? We need to appoint one member. We've got two. Here are our choices that I understand them. We can go ahead and pick one of these. We can do further interviews. We haven't heard from Mr. Zabo. Or we can go ahead and continue to open it up for additional applicants if we want to. How long has this been open, Ken, for applicants?
Since February.
Since February. Okay. That's a sufficient part of time. Most of the members are already frequenting the club, I would imagine.
Well, we've got probably about half of them.
Half of them?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll tell you what, I'm going to make a motion that we appoint Rick Zabo as a member of the Miami Shores Golf Advisory Board, and I'll make that motion. Is there a second to the motion?
I'll second.
There's a second. Any further discussion? Okay, please call the roll.
Mr. Cappers?
Yes.
Mr. Fox?
Yes.
Mrs. Pierce?
Yes.
Okay, if you will let Mr. Zabo know that he's now, and let him know when the meetings are and things like that.
Sure.
Cindy, that doesn't mean there wouldn't be an appointment in the future if you want to continue to stay active.
Okay, thank you.
Well, thank you for your interest.
Yes, thank you for the interview.
Okay. Anything else that the commissioners want to discuss? Anything else to come before the board? Mrs. Knight, do you have anything?
Yes, sir.
I love it when you say sir.
You're welcome, sir. First of all, I did misspeak earlier. I think I referenced the Spencer Trust. I was thinking of Lincoln Center, and I meant the Stouter Trust. But also the money from the Mayor Trust does go into the PNR Capital Fund, not the general fund.
Oh, that makes more sense then.
I thought you'd be happy to know that, sir.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Hey, Jeremy, you got that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Anything else, Mrs. Knight?
No, sir.
I love these meetings because I finally get respect. Okay, anything else come before the commission? I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion, support, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, we stand adjourned.